Hi guys, you're welcome once again to my channel. I'm so happy to have you here today, and today I'm not by myself. Yes, I have my beautiful delectable friend Chinyere Abang with me on this one, guys.
Hi people, my name is Chinyere, and this is my first time on Jeffrey's channel, and it's good to be here.
Yeah, and yes guys, she has her own channel too, so check her out, Chinyere Abang. Okay, all right, so guys, today we're talking about domestic violence. Yes, like we all know, domestic violence is a very serious issue, and there are different aspects to it. There's this domestic violence against women, against men, and against kids, but our focus today is domestic violence against women, and we're going to be treating some of the reasons why women who are involved in abusive relationship or who are in a violent relationship, some of the reasons why they won't leave. The first reason we are treating today is spiritual religious beliefs. Yes, in light of what has been going on social media in terms of the unfortunate demise of the gospel musician Osinachi, who unfortunately allegedly died from a domestic abuse situation in her marriage due to the fact that she didn't speak up. And one of the reasons why many women don't speak up when it comes to things like this, especially women of faith, is because most churches hammer more on the fact that God is against divorce. It is not good to be divorced. Once you're married, you should pray through whatever problems you're going through, rely on the Holy Spirit and things like that. But they don't stress on the fact that also there are grounds for divorce in the Bible. Yes, there are grounds for divorce in the Bible, you know. So the narrative has to be balanced, because if you're a woman of faith and the narrative you hear most of the time is, don't worry, God will sort everything out in that marriage. Even if you are with somebody that is really abusive, pray through it. That's the narrative you're going to work with. You don't want to be the one that is now divorced, you know, amongst the pack. And also, you know, it is believed that, okay, well, you are a Christian, your husband is supposed to be a Christian, so if anything is happening in that union, you won't want to speak up and say, see what my husband is doing. You just want to cover up for him, and you know, things like that. And it's really dangerous. Please, you need to understand that God has a purpose for your life as well, and if the partner that you are with is going to be the reason why you're not going to fulfill God's purpose for your life, then it is important and okay for you to leave. I'm sure God does not want you to die in a violent relationship, you know, or because he frowns on divorce. If it's going to cost your life, if it's going to cost your mental health and well-being, then you need to understand that it is okay to leave. I'm happy now that most religious leaders or spiritual leaders are coming out and speaking up against these things. They are now saying that it's okay to leave, it's okay to speak up, especially if your life is in danger. We need more of this kind of narratives, you know. We need it. It's
really something that Nigerian pastors have to speak more about.
Yes,
because obviously the church and like maybe those women are very loyal to whatever it is that, you know, comes out of the mouth of these religious leaders. So it's something that they really need to talk about, because I don't think you want to know that your member died because her husband beat her. It's not making sense.
It's not making sense.
It's not when you could have done something about it.
Yes.
I don't know.
And the fact that they always hammer on praying is very important. Don't get me wrong. Praying is good. But maybe let's be realistic about situations, you know.
The next point is upbringing. I really like when I hear stories from women where they say, you know, before they get married, their dad will talk to them and tell them, if your husband does this, just know that there's always a room still available for you to come in. And I don't think there's anybody that will just walk out of their marriage, you know, based off little, you know, minor things. So I think first thing is parents should be open to letting their children know that they are willing to welcome them back with open arms
if they're having issues.
If they're having issues that they think are just a little bit too much for them to deal with. Because another thing is that you can't really say a problem is big for this person and it's not that big for this person. It's relative to individuals. You know, what someone else can handle is what someone else might not be able to handle. So when you get to a point where it's stroking you, or you feel like you just can't deal anymore, parents are supposed to be able to openly accept you. But I think in this part of the world, a lot of times it's always about taking care of that person, maybe financially as well, because of course if you're going to let someone into your house, especially for women that maybe are not able to stand on their own, their family might now be thinking, okay, so now we have to cater for this person. If they have children, we have to pay their school fees. But I'm sure we would always choose that over a
losing the person completely.
We will choose that over a burial anytime, any day. So that's one thing I think parents need to, you know, really be about. And I think, I don't know if it's the upbringing thing too also has a lot to do with this spiritual, because a lot of parents, it's because of their spiritual beliefs that makes them now carry this belief over to their own children's marriage, and then they're telling them, you know, if you have problems. But because a lot of times I see a lot of stories that people say they would want to leave marriages, and then their mothers are like, no, you're not coming back here. No matter what happens, find a way to sort your issues out.
The woman makes the home even when you are dying.
Yeah. Or if there's maybe another woman in the picture, they're like, how would you leave
for that woman?
Yeah, I was having a discussion with someone, and someone was actually telling me that there's no reason why you should leave your home for another woman to come and take over
and come and
enjoy the years of your husband's labor. And I'm just like, I'm not understanding. There are situations where you don't need to be there. Like, what are you enjoying? You want to be there suffering, and then maybe you're eating money, driving car. What's the reason? Why don't we rate ourselves higher than we should? Why don't we? So yeah, you know, that's what I would say when it comes to upbringing.
I want some parents to be like, in our family nobody has ever gotten divorced, or it's not in our lineage. We need to change all those narratives. We need to consider our children's well-being first before all of this. Even me too, when I went through it, and don't worry, everything will be fine. And at the end of the day, it's not fine, and you have lost your precious child to violence. Okay, so the next point we want to talk about, want to address today, is societal stigma and pressure. There's a lot of societal stigma attached to being a divorcee, especially as a woman. A man can get divorced, get married, people will even hail him, he's married, this and that. But if it's a woman that is divorced, hey, the narrative is different. It's like it's almost like a taboo, and I wonder why. I mean, I'm sure that most people don't have that plan in their head. When I get married in 2 years' time, I'm going to get divorced. It is things that push them to that point to say, you know what, I think I have to leave this union before it kills me. So when people find the courage, because it's not even easy for a lot of women to even make that decision. So when they find the courage to leave, please, people, stop stigmatizing them. Stop putting them in a box. Stop making them feel like they are no longer part of society. So you know this what's her name now, Red Vigo, that celebrity influencer that got married to that actor Chukwudekwe. I mean, you need to see the way people troll her online. And
it's like every single thing they do, people are scrutinizing, people are criticizing. In fact, as a divorced woman, you can just blow kiss to one man, they will say that you are dating the man while you are married to your husband. Like, it's just a lot.
It's a lot. And to think that she has left that marriage for like almost 3 years, and people are still trolling her. Like, there was one post she posted one time that somebody was like, it's because you want to be a prostitute, that's why you left your husband. I'm like, but you're in that union with them, do you know what they were going through?
And I think it's really bad with Red Vigo because people don't know the exact reason why. So it's like people, I don't know if I should say,
have come up with all kinds of
things. People also need closure, like they want to hear what happened, and since they've not heard what happened, they have just opened, you know, it's like she has left room for people to just say all sorts.
And the funny thing
very strong because she never really,
her former partner is married now, and nobody is trolling him and saying, hey, you left your wife, but she can't have a breathing space, and it's not nice. The things people say, even if you want to correct somebody on maybe the way something they are doing based on your own moral standard, though, can't you do it in love? Like, do you have to like say things that will make people want to go to their closet and kill themselves? Come on, people, we need to do better. We need to stop putting undue, unnecessary pressure on ourselves, on people. You go on people's timeline, say all manner of things. Like, will you be happy if you hear tomorrow that she killed herself because she was depressed and all of that? And these are things that a lot of people are facing, and they are not necessary. You need to come to the understanding that people should make the best decision for themselves, especially when it comes to marriage.
So the next one is kids, and this one just baffles me.
Like, it's a long age reason why women want to leave.
It is. When women say they want to stay because of their children, I don't understand how a home that is built on the foundation of like domestic violence, how
the children will thrive well in that home.
exactly, like if you're raising children properly in a balanced home, a healthy home, it's always going to be the involvement of mother and father, not as individuals but as partners, as mother and father, not, you know, as woman and man. So if you're staying for your kids, and of course there's no way a man that batters and beats and bruises his wife would be able to actually raise children in love with that same woman. I don't see how possible that is. So when women are saying they want to raise their children, they want to stay because of their kids, it's not giving common sense to me, because your marriage can never be the same, parenting can never be the same. It's as good as you guys living apart and parenting differently. So I don't know, and I also think, of course, a lot of it has to do with finances, because it really cannot be just wanting your kids to have father figure in their lives. They can also do that when
because another thing a lot of women need to consider is when you're having those fights and those royal rumbles, you don't do them in private. You don't do them in secrecy. You do them in front of your young children, your teenage children. What are you teaching them? You understand? You need to take all those things into consideration, women. Like if you're fighting constantly in front of your kids, abusing each other, battering each other,
and most times, even if you don't, children get the vibe. Like you give off that vibe.
Most times, like, will you be hiding? Oh yeah, people go to your neighbor's house and fight. It always happens.
Sometimes it would always sometimes it would.
So you need to consider that, because now you're teaching your girl child that it's okay to take all those abuse and be quiet and bear it. Then for the guy, for your male child, you're teaching that boy that it's okay to beat a woman. That is how it is, because they say parents are the first role models of children, and they're learning everything in terms of relationship from you. And tomorrow when they go out, they become like that, because if you notice, a higher percentage of children that grow up in a violent home or in a toxic home always end up becoming abusers themselves, and the cycle just continues. Will your children rather have a late mom because she died from domestic violence? I think
who will eventually not be able to raise them, and another woman will end up raising them.
And of course we know how that usually turns out. So I think they'll prefer to have their mom in their life alive and living separately from their dad than not to have a mom in their life at all. So please, women, you need to take all these things into consideration before you start telling yourself that, because I feel like when women say that, they have other reasons behind just saying I am staying because of my kids. In fact, I think if you look at the whole thing, you should be leaving because of your kids, because you want your children to grow in a sane, less toxic, or even a non-toxic environment. Alright, so we're moving on. I think another reason why most women won't leave is fear of retaliation from their spouses. You know, for some women that eventually find the courage to leave, their husband will be like, so you think you have mind, you have left, we'll deal with you. So for some of them, they'll be like, if I could leave, you will kill me. Let me just stay and manage what I have now than what you don't know is going to come, you know. So they are usually, that is really a big factor for some women, and that's why they won't leave, because of, and some men, unfortunately, they take it further, like they will punish you, because especially in this side of the world,
that
it's not
control,
like
they want that control. They are thirsty for that control. So you like trying to go, it's like you're trying to
break out of that
hold. You have to release their grip from you, and so
it just
find other ways. Try to find other ways, whether by finances or still physically violating you, you know, emotionally violating you or manipulating you.
And you know, unlike the western part of the world, where if you're getting a divorce, there's a way to settle the woman, make sure she's taken care of, make sure her children is taken care of. It's not like that in this part of the world. And even for those that find ways to do all those things, the man will make sure that you get nothing. In fact, they'll go as far sometimes as punishing their own children just to get to the woman. I mean, come on, why are we like this? Why are we like this? But there's one thing I want to say though, that women, you can leave once you find the courage, the strength to leave. That is the start. That is the start. Like, because if you keep holding that fear in, like, if I leave, it's going to be worse, you will never leave. And most times, unfortunately, if it doesn't end so badly now, it would have been a different case. Most times it always ends badly. So please, if you're in this kind of situation, find the courage, cast your fears aside, and leave that relationship before it's too late. The biggest issue is, please speak up. Don't keep it in. That is where your abuser, your you know, your
Yeah,
violent
like they say,
partner
yeah.
thrive. That is when
Yeah.
they thrive.
Secrecy.
Because they know that hey, you will not go fit anybody.
Yeah.
You know, things like that. You need to identify somebody that can relate with what
Yeah.
you are going through, or that can understand. Because
Yeah,
obviously,
now be empathetic
it's not. Yeah,
about
it's
the
not everybody that
situation.
can understand.
Yeah.
So you don't keep it in. Please look for platforms.
You're doing yourself a favor by even speaking out.
Yes.
You feel a lot better that way.
Yeah, look for platforms and people that can help you. You'll be surprised and amazed at people that will rush to your aid if only you just speak up.
Another reason has to be, of course, lack of financial independence,
Yeah.
which I think has to be maybe one of the major, if not the major reasons. And greed as well, because I think there are some women that are financially independent, but feel that they won't be as comfortable when they leave that marriage. Some women are married to men that are, of course, way richer than they are and offer them so much comfort.
Too many people are dying needlessly from violent relationship, married or not, and it's baffling, because you can actually just say, you know what, I'm no longer doing. But just to find that will, and it's crazy. I don't understand this sometimes.
Yeah.
If you have been in a relationship like this and it's been able to come out of it, please share your experiences with us.
Yeah,
We would like to know what you did.
Oh, that's what was it that happened that got you to that breaking point?
The point where you came to the fact that I've
had it.
You've had it. Please, if you have been in a relationship like that, we would love to hear from you. Maybe your story on how you broke out of that kind of situation can inspire and help.
Else.
Thank you guys for hanging with us today, and thank you my darling for coming on the channel today. Don't forget guys, go check out our page Chinyere Abang, and I'll see you in my next video. Mwah, I love you all.